What's going on, YouTube? Courtside with Jerome, here to make another video. Just got off work, 2 o'clock in the morning, here to review the games and the highlights from the games from March 12th, 2021. 7 games on the bracket, so let's get to it. You new to the channel? Smash that like button. Turn on notifications. What are you guys waiting for? I know y'all ready to get the video started, so am I. That being said, DJ, drop that intro.
Throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me.
Philadelphia 76ers, Washington Wizards. Philadelphia 76ers 25-12. God, I'm getting tongue-tied. Washington Wizards 14-21. So, for the 76ers, they're on pace for their best season and their first conference championship in 20 years. 20 years. You know, the process has really improved Philadelphia. And, you know, we'll see how they progress for the rest of the season, see if they can keep up how everything going. But we got good news. Joel Embiid is back. Joel Embiid is back. And for the season, he's averaging 30 points and 11 rebounds. That is MVP candidate numbers. Now, he might, lose some votes because of the, time he missed and everything, but he's still give you 30 and 11. So you can take that momentum for the 76ers into the playoffs and see how it goes from there. But unfortunately, they didn't have Ben Simmons. And in their last game, that I reviewed in the last video I made, Philadelphia had a big win. They had double digits from everybody on the team. But tonight they're playing against the Washington Wizards, who are desperately trying to get into the playoffs, led by Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, and they're trying to make that playoff push. And unfortunately, the Wizards did not come to play. Just from the start of the first quarter, they just wasn't ready. They only put up 15 points in the first quarter, while Philly dropped 32, so they're already down 17. And even though they was down by double digits already, the 76ers, they still didn't have Ben Simmons. So I feel the Wizards could make a comeback. Bradley Beal hit some threes. Russell Westbrook get, hot like he sometimes can. And, Davis Bertans could probably knock out a couple threes. But the second quarter, Washington proved that the first quarter was just a fluke. They was getting warmed up because they dropped 38 points in that second quarter. But if I could be spoiled for a minute, that was the only time the Wizards put up 30 points in a quarter. And, Philadelphia, they was reeling from the onslaught from Washington, and they weathered the storm. Washington offense was just average. And even though I said Joel Embiid came back and that was good news, it was bad news again. He left midway through the third quarter off a dunk. He said it was hypertension. But, for Philly fans, you have to worry. Joel Embiid has been injury prone, let's be honest, throughout his career. Even though he's just the most gifted center, out there, with just footwork and just expansion of his offense, offense, defense, rebounds, stretch the floor. Joel Embiid has the whole package. He has the whole package. Pause. But he's just injury prone. And they ain't gonna need him. And the second half of the season, your best player comes back and now he's gone again. You have to be concerned for Philadelphia. But last game, like I said, the 76ers bench, they came through. And we had a lot of guys hit double figures. And again, their depth came through. It highlights how much depth the Philadelphia 76ers have. Listen to the stats here. Danny Green, 12 points. Tobias Harris, 14 points. Joel Embiid, 23 points. Seth Curry, 14 points. Shake Milton, 18 points. And for Ken Kormaz, 18 points. That's a lot of offense to cover, just to replace Ben Simmons, who can give you, 18 and 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on a given night. And for the third and fourth quarter, the Wizards couldn't even crack 50 total points. they just couldn't get 50 points. And Russell Westbrook, had a good game. Russell Westbrook had 25 points. He was efficient for 10 for 19, over 50%, 2 for 4 from 3-point range, 50%. But Bradley Beal, last game he struggled. We put it off as, all-star break jitters. But this game, he didn't put up like big numbers. Like he didn't like dominate like we know Bradley Beal can. 19 points on just 8 for 13 shooting. But what got to me was he only took 2 3-pointers. He was 1 for 2 from 3. And we know Bradley Beal is a certified sharpshooter. I mean, he had comparisons to Ray Allen coming out of college. But he only made 1 3-pointer. But he is limited. He do have nagging injuries. And, the Wizards going to play him limited. Hopefully that they can just have a big lead and let Bradley Beal come out so they can make a playoff push. But I'd rather just rest him, a couple games so he can get a little healthier down the stretch. And but for Washington, their downfall was they only had 3 players that scoring double figures. And Philadelphia won, they wins 127-101, a blowout. And here's the stat for you, stat of the night. Philadelphia are 10-1 when they score 120 points or more. And so that's going to be a recipe for success for Philadelphia. 120 points every game. Now it's going to be hard to do, especially without Ben Simmons. I know the last 2 games they dominated and, but I mean, how long can that last? You don't expect them to put up 120 every game. Eventually, you're going to need Ben Simmons to run the offense and facilitate and, play. As Jerry Dudley said, he's only good at half-court offense. But Ben Simmons is, he's somewhat underrated, but he can be somewhat overrated. But they still going to need him. But Philadelphia wins 127-101 again against Wizards. And it was just not the best night for the Wizards. Denver Nuggets, my Denver Nuggets, Memphis Grizzlies. Nuggets 21-15, Grizzlies 17-16. Grizzlies trying to get above 500, while the Nuggets trying to improve their playoff seeding. And it was basically Jokic against Valanciunas. And, last game, not Jokic, but Valanciunas had a 20-20. Then he had 29 points and 20 rebounds, something like that. Had a monster game. And, I feel like, Jonas could have another dominant game because, Jokic is not known for his defensive prowess. Jokic is not going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. We know that for sure. But I felt that, for my team to win, that is Denver Nuggets, we had to stop Ja Morant. And it was a close game. For me, too close for comfort. I'm having a mild heart attack. And we did a good job on Ja Morant. 5 for 16, just 16 points. Jonas Valanciunas had a double-double, 14-11. A far cry from his 2020 he had last game. But, for the Grizzlies fans, Jonas Valanciunas passed Hakeem Ward from 14th all-time in the rebounding category for the Memphis Grizzlies. I remember Hakeem Ward in Memphis. I just remember from the slam dunk contest and playing in Syracuse. I think it was Carmelo Anthony's teammate in Syracuse. I'm not sure, but I know he's from Syracuse. But another guy who I don't talk about in this game and just all season who have not gotten credit and is underrated is Brandon Clark. He finished the game with, solid 20 points. But the Joker, Jokic, the Joker, if you're going to say his name, say it with your chest. Don't disrespect my guy like that. He went 28 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. And he had help, Michael Porter Jr., who in the past I've said is a guy who, could be the face of the franchise. Who has a very high ceiling. He had 21 points on the 8 for 13 efficient shooting night. And Will Barton, who, always going to be in the 6-man a year contention. He had 21 points, 5 for 10 from 3. So he helped us a lot from 3-point range, 50% from 3. All right, let's get to what everybody's talking about. Let's get to the play. You know, Jokic, quote unquote, fouled Ja Morant. Now, when I was watching this game and I was watching that play, a bug flew in the house, flew in my apartment, and it went in my eye. So I didn't see that play. So I don't know what y'all talking about. I didn't see the play. I don't know what y'all talking about. So don't comment. Oh, you just being biased for your team. No, I did not see what happened. A bug flew in my house and got in my eye, and I didn't see what was going on. But Ja, relax, calm down. Man up. Just one game. You know what I mean? You guys you guys above 500. Calm down. You know what I mean? You'll be all right. Referees, and the message for the referees, the check will be in your account by midnight. Don't judge me. I'm kidding. Jamal Murray, what's there? Who is the Nuggets second option? He struggled. He only had 3 points, 1 for 9. And if he would have just hit double digits, we wouldn't be having this discussion. We would be talking about the play of the game where Jokic did not foul Ja Morant. But my Nuggets win. We're going for the championship. Lakers, Clippers, Suns, watch out. We're on your asses. You know what I mean? We're coming for you. We want your head. But all jokes aside, Memphis lost this game. And I think they lost themselves. They lost the game in the third quarter. They were just sloppy. Memphis was sloppy. They had turnovers. And Denver even had a 20-7 run. Now, it shouldn't have came to a one-possession game, but we even had a 14-2, run after leading after three. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. As a record, we're 14-2 when we're leading after 3 quarters. So into the fourth quarter, we're 14-2 with the lead. And we don't give up leads. And, Will Barton, he made sure that didn't happen again. He made sure it was 15-2. He hit a 3 with about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes in the game. And we kept the game lead throughout. We won. We're winners. If you're a Grizzlies fan, relax. All right? Drink some water, eat some ice cream or something. Eat a ham and cheese sandwich, whatever. Calm down. It's just one game. If y'all was, one game should not affect y'all playoff seedings. If it does, that means you guys are not that good. But no, respect to Ja Morant. He's a great player. He's gonna be an all-star. Soon. He changed his team, the Grizzlies, around, and I'm just happy my team won. And we trying to get as much wins as we can, improve our seeding. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the year. Cleveland Cavaliers, New Orleans Pelicans. Cavaliers 14-22. Pelicans 15-22, about the same record. And the Pelicans, who are currently on a 3-game losing streak, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, trying to get Zion in the playoffs for the first time, new All-Star, and they just trying to get a win and start a little winning streak going. Cavaliers also got playoff hopes, and they got Kevin Love and Larry Nance Jr. back. But who cares? This game was over with at halftime, man. Pelicans almost had a 40-point quarter in the first half. They almost had 70 points in the first half. They almost had 70 points. It used to take teams 3 quarters to get 70 points. Pelicans said, nah, we'll do it in 2. And Kevin Love, he came back. He only had 4 points and 1 rebound. Played 10 minutes. He should have just stayed bench. He shouldn't have dressed up for this game. And he looked like he was injured because Zion Williams had his way with him. Zion Williams just dominated Kevin Love. And, Kevin Love is a good player. But, ever since he left Minnesota, he just ain't been 25-13. We know because he was at Cleveland, Kyrie, LeBron. So his stats going to go down as Chris Bosh. Larry Nance Jr., who missed 12 games, he hurt his left hand. Only had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and a block in 28 minutes. So he played better, but he had more minutes. And any chance, even though Cleveland was down, even though any chance they had to make a comeback, it was over in the third quarter. They only scored 9 points as a team. Now, let me just pause for a minute. Let's just stop for a minute, okay? We're just going to just pause, take a timeout, commercial break from here real quick. Brandon Ingram had 10 points in the third quarter. The Cleveland Cavaliers had 9 points as a team. So Brandon Ingram scored more points than the Cleveland Cavaliers for one quarter. So Brandon Ingram dominated the Cleveland Cavaliers. You should just pack a towel and just go home, Cleveland. One man scored more points than the entire team. Anywho, the Pelicans had at one point they had 160 lead. They had a 40-point lead. 40 points. Cleveland, you're 14-22. You can make the playoffs as the AC if you just hustle. And the field goal percentage, the Cavs, they shot 34% from the field as a team, and 7 from 32 from three-point range. They missed 25 three-pointers. This kind of reminds me of the game where Houston played against Golden State. I think it was a game 7 where they missed so many. Like, they think they missed like 11. They didn't miss as much as they missed 11 in a row, something like that. No, was it 11? I don't know. But they missed a lot of 3 points. The Cavs did. I mean, they just couldn't make a basket. I mean, you got billionaires on this team. Excuse me. Yeah, that's how much they made me. How bad they played. They got me coughing over here. You got millionaires on this team. Kevin Love making, had $100 million contract, and he couldn't even. And they even all that money, they couldn't buy a basket. And here's how bad it was. Listen to these stats, guys. Just listen. Jared Allen, 2 for 6. Isaac Okoro, 1 for 8. Colin Sexton, who I thought was going to be an all-star snub at least, 7 for 18. Jetty Osman, because, it's weird. 1 for 9. Dean Wade and Damian Dotson, 0 for 8. This team, the Cavaliers, couldn't even crack 80 points. 80 fucking points. You couldn't even make 80 points. This team, the Pelicans, had 70 points at 2 quarters, and you barely reached 80. Wow. Brandon Ingram, if I was the coach, now let me back up. If I was the Cavaliers coach, y'all need to take Uber home. Y'all ain't catching this plane back. No, y'all don't deserve this. Brandon Ingram went beast mode, 28 points, 11 for 14 shooting, 11 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and Zion had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 9 for 13 from the floor. Steve Adams was a monster on the boards. Steve Adams was a monster. He was OKC Steve Adams. 10 points, 17 rebounds, perfect from the field, 5 for 5. And even though the backcourt, the Pelicans struggled, Lonzo Ball, he needs to be traded because he's going to hold his team back with his, this is 2 games in a row. He's not shot over 40%. And tonight he was 1 for 7, 3 points. Eric Bledsoe, 0 for 4 with no points. And luckily they won this game because if they lost, they should have got criticism for losing this game against the Cleveland Cavaliers team. But Pelicans win 116-82. And, the Pelicans trying to get back to their winning ways, make a quick playoff push, and we'll see how it goes. Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls. Miami Heat 19-18, Chicago Bulls 16-20. Fun fact, this is Miami Heat's first game back playing above 500. That's how much of a struggle this season has been for the defending Eastern Conference Championships, how much of an injury-prone season it's been. And also, Jimmy Butler playing against the team that drafted him, in the second round. And this game was close. I have to admit, this was a close game. I know I've been saying a lot lately, this game was close. But it was a pretty close game. And the Bulls should have won this game. I mean, the second quarter, you had the Heat to 13 points. And you still ended halftime tied. Like, how? You know what I mean? How do you hold a team to 13 points? Now, Miami had a good first quarter, but it shows how bad the Chicago Bulls offense is. It's Zach LaVine or nothing. You got Laurie Markin, and he'll, have a game here and there. But it was really Zach LaVine a bust. But let's talk about Jimmy Buckets, the best NBA leader here, as I've said before. 28 points. But you know what? Jimmy Butler did not win this game, believe it or not. It was not Jimmy Buckets. It was not Jimmy Buckets Butler. It was Goran Dragic who won the game. In the fourth quarter, he had 20 points in the fourth fucking quarter. Goran Dragic, 20 points. He had 25 in total. He had 5 points in 3 quarters, and he just went Mamba mentality and put up 20. Georgia made 3 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, shot 4 for 8 from the game, and he was 9 for 15 overall. But Chicago, the Bulls for the game, they shot 40%. They was just atrocious on offense. They shot 39% from three and 37% from the field. And about that, if you shoot higher from 3-point range than from the field overall, it shows me you just settled for shots. You just became a 3-point shooting, jump shooting team. You didn't get to the line. You wasn't aggressive. You didn't try to play in the paint. You wasn't getting physical. You just played soft. And they got to the line 7 times. Yes, they made all 7 their free throws, 7 for 7 for 100%. But you went 7 times to the free throw line. That's like you went to the line like twice per quarter, less than 2 times a quarter. That just means you guys were just gunning up shots, becoming a jump shooting team. And it's just, they just wasn't aggressive. Jimmy Butler had 28 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals. Goran Dragic, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 for 8 from 3. And the Heat had 30 points in the quarter, and in the fourth quarter they had 30 points. And that was the only time a team between these two had scored 30 points this game in this quarter, which helped the Heat win. It gave them that cushion enough to win. And even though, the Bulls struggled, like I said, this is a Zach LaVine, a bust team. Zach LaVine played really good. He played amazing. 30 points, 10 for 16 shooting, 6 from 8 from 3, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Lauri Markkanen played good too. He had 20 points, 8 for 18, 4 for 10 from 3. And I know Lauri Markkanen, he's a finesse more than a physical player. He's more finesse, like a Chris Bosh, stretch the floor. But you're 7 feet tall. We need some rebounds, dude. We need some rebounds. And it's like just Zach LaVine was the driver and Lauri Markkanen was the passenger, and nobody else came along for the ride. And if Chicago, they want to get into that one of those lower seeds in the play-in tournament, the playoffs, whatever. I call it playoffs. I don't do that play-in tournament stuff. I don't understand the play-in tournament and all that. So I just call it the playoffs. So if they want to get into the playoffs, they need to go on the winning streak fast. Like next game, they need to start winning games because let me back up. Because it depends. Trade deadline coming up next week. So what do you do? Zach LaVine could be moved. He's been rumored to go to the Knicks. So who is the franchise player? Lauri Markkanen, he's inconsistent. He's also somewhat injury prone. So who's your franchise player? Because Zach LaVine's giving you 28 a night. But he needs more help. Kobe White is okay. He's more of a defensive player. Lauri Markkanen's okay. Denzel Valentine, who I thought would get more minutes, he's playing. He's hadn't had a chance to break out yet. But Butler, the Heat win. Butler, Jimmy Butler, they're trying to show, just get back in the playoffs. Look, I know you might not get home seed advantage, home court advantage, but you just need to get back and defend your crown. Defend the conference championship, and if you lose, you lose. But you don't want to be the Eastern Conference Championship one season and miss the playoffs. Kind of like when LeBron was in Cleveland. They was the best team in the league, and then when LeBron left Miami, they was the worst team in the league. So you don't want to do that. It's almost like similar. So you don't want to do that. But Heat wins. They beat Chicago Bulls, and we'll see how both teams continue down the stretch. I'm going to do a quick edit real quick. Talk about Zach LaVine. Yeah, I know they lost, but let's be honest. Did we really see this from Zach LaVine when he was in Minnesota? We just thought he was just a dunker. But we did not see this kind of evolution from Zach LaVine. We thought when he got drafted, he was, I think him and Wiggins came out the same draft, but we just thought that it was going to be Wiggins' team. And Zach LaVine was just a high-fly dunker, like a Derrick Jones Jr. He probably give you like 10, 15 points, but more just for his dunking ability. I didn't think Zach LaVine gonna be an all-star. I just didn't think so. I didn't think this guy would be averaging almost 29 points a game and being the face of and being, the leader of a team and everything. So it's just good to see the evolution of somebody who really wants it, Zach LaVine. And I would love to see this guy in the playoffs. He deserves it, man. Like, just the work he put in, you know, we thought he was crazy, or the Bulls were crazy for getting Zach LaVine in that trade because he was injured. He was injured. For the Jimmy Butler, Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn trade, we thought Zach LaVine he was injured when he got traded. So we're like, why would the Bulls take an injured player? We don't know. He'll come back 100% or be the same player. But man, props to Zach LaVine, man. Like, keep doing your thing, man. Like, that's amazing what you did. Magic, Spurs. Magic 13-24, Spurs 18-15. Coming to this game, and I do a little research. One thing that kind of surprised me was the Spurs they're number one in the Southwest Division, in the Southwest standings. That is not division, but the standings. I mean, that's kind of weird, but I guess okay, because I thought Spurs was like fighting for a home seed. It could be one of those things when the Spurs and Clippers, and I think the Spurs had a better record, but the Clippers had a better record, but the Spurs, because they won a division, they had the home seed or something like that. It was one of those things, but I think it could be one of those things. But anywho, Spurs against the Magic. The Spurs don't have LaMarcus Aldridge. He was released from the team, and unfortunately, DeMar DeRozan, because of the passing of his father. Praying for you and your family. I know it got to be tough for you and your family, and I just hope you can recover mentally, because I know that how much losing your father is tough. So prayers for you and your family, and feel better, man. Back to the game. So the Spurs got 4 players back. They had Rudy Gay, Derek White, Keldon Johnson, and Devin Vassell. They was out for health reasons. And the Magic, they didn't have Eric Gordon, Aaron Fournier, and Terrence Ross. So that's 3 starters out for the Magic. But the Magic in the first quarter, their defense was like all-stars. They were like gangbusters. I mean, they had the Spurs to 16 points. And now I'm going to step away for a minute, because in my personal opinion, I always feel like, and even when I would be playing 2K, 25 points in a quarter is average, is average, because he's on pace for 100 points. Anything extra is gravy on top. But what hurt Orlando was the second quarter and the fourth quarter. They scored 10 points in the third and 13 points in the fourth. You scored 23 points. That's, 11 and a half points on average for a quarter. And when you put up less than 20 points in a quarter, it will set you back and you be playing catch-up all night. And Rudy Gay was Memphis Grizzlies Rudy Gay. When he was playing good. You don't talk about Rudy Gay enough, because he never make an all-star team. He was just a scorer. That's all he can do. But he scored 19 points, 5 and 9 from the field, even 5 from 3. And, the backcourt helped too. DeJounte Murray and Derek White had 17 apiece. So it wasn't like they offensively dominated the Magic. It wasn't. I know you look at the score, you'll see that it was a domination, but not really. The Spurs, they ended the half. They went to the half and they started the third on a 20-2 run. And the Magic just they shot their own selves in the foot, the knee, the ankle, the ACL. They shot themselves everywhere in their leg. I mean, they shot 29 from 80 from the field for 36%, 10 for 38, 28 threes they missed for 26%, and they only shot 12 free throws. Again, 12 free throws, that's 3 a quarter. That means you're not aggressive. You're not getting physical. You're not trying to draw fouls. You're not trying to get easy points. You're just settling. And Nikola Vucevic had a strong game, 26 points, 9 rebounds. And Dwayne Bacon, they were the only 2 guys that scored in double figures for the Magic. And we know the Magic not competing for a playoffs. And, they're not going to be fighting for a championship anytime soon. And, Aaron Gordon might get moved this season. And we've been saying that for the last couple of years. Aaron Gordon seemed to always be on the trade rumors, always on the trade block. They never move him. And I just want Eric Gordon to be gone, because they try to make the power forward, which he is now, and he just seems limited. I know he's injured now, They tried him at small forward one season, and that didn't go nowhere. So, excuse me. So they need to move Aaron Gordon immediately. But the Spurs win 104-77. I think that's a 27 point blowout for the Spurs, and they needed this win. The Spurs, they might be boring and slow, and they like broccoli. They're boring, but let's be honest. We need the Spurs in the playoffs. Even if they just the AFC, we need the Spurs because it's like tradition. We're like conditioned to see San Antonio in the playoffs, so we need the Spurs in the playoffs. But they win a well-needed win. So we'll see if they can get into the playoffs. Houston Rockets, Utah Jazz. Rockets 11-24, Utah Jazz 27-9. Wow. We coming in, Jazz at one point was the team to beat, and right now they still are. They haven't even lost double-digit games yet. Donovan Mitchell, who is not getting no kind of MVP consideration, but hey, they're winning it by grit and grind. The old Memphis Grizzlies slogan. The Rockets are on a 14-game losing streak. That is the definition of rebuilding. That is rebuilding and then rebirthing. God, 14-game losing streak. And the Jazz are trying to get into the W column and get a win. And again, this is like my quote of the night. This game was over at halftime. The Jazz almost had 70 points by halftime, and they held the Rockets under 50 points. And the Rockets just couldn't get going. And the thing with the Houston Rockets is they have a different leading scorer every single night. Almost every night. And that's fine and dandy. It shows depth and all. But they're inefficient. Like, last time it was Vil Oladipo, and he was just, I think it was like 7 for 21. That's like 33% or something. And he was around 30% from the field. And then tonight, it was Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, he had 27 points, but he was 11 for 25, and he was 1 for 9 from 3. Like, he should have went in and, made it closer. And speaking of Oladipo, who was the leading scorer for last game, he didn't play tonight. I think it was because of a quad, so he didn't play. And to me, it was just a case of, well, you know what? Somebody got to score tonight. Somebody got to score. And I thought it was gonna be Eric Gordon taking the charge. He's a marksman from 3. He's a catch and shoot guy, but he didn't play either. So, Houston did put up a fight, but the offense was just sloppy. And it was sluggish, and it was just uninterested. They shot. Let me hit. Wow. Listen to this. 41 for 111 shots. It was 41 for 111. That was like overtime. They shot. They were just running. Just like almost like the Mike D'Antoni 7 seconds or less in the Phoenix Suns offense. 41 for 111, and they weren't even accurate. They was 36% from 3. I'm sorry. It was 36% from the field and 20% from 3. And the Jazz played good, not great, but they played good. The Rockets gave the Jazz this game. Donovan Mitchell didn't have his best game, 9 for 23, but he did have 7 rebounds, 8 assists, so he finished the stat sheet. He flirted with a triple double. But Mike Conley, 20 points, 8 for 12 from the floor, 3 for 6 from 3, and Mike Conley showing that hey, I still got something left over from the 3-point shootout. I still got that hot hand from the 3-point shootout. And Rudy Gobert, the Stifle Tower, had 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 blocks. And the Rockets shot better from... I'm sorry, let me back up. The Jazz shot better from 3 than the Rockets shot from the field. Let me say that again. Utah Jazz shot better overall from the field than the Jazz shot from... No, they shot better from 3 than the Jazz shot from overall than the Rockets. I'm sorry again. I'm just going to screw it up. Let me try that one more time. The Jazz shot better from 3 than a Rockets shot overall from the game. And the way it's just like, for me, the Jazz could have won this game just shooting 3-pointers and rebounding, playing defense. They didn't have to go in the paint. They could have just shot threes all day. The Rockets, and another thing about the Rockets, they put up 43 threes. You're not the James Harden Rockets no more. You're not the James Harden, Chris Paul, Eric Gordon, Gerald Green, Robert Covington, PJ Tucker Rockets no more. You know, you don't have to put up 40-something threes to prove a point. You know, play your way. Harden is gone. Play your way, Rockets. You know, you're not the James Harden guy. You're not the running gun offense. The Jazz win 114-99. And the Rockets, I don't know if you're trying to go for the number one pick or what you're trying to do, but don't have some pride, man. Have some pride, guys. Indiana Pacers, LA Lakers. Pacers 16-19, Lakers 24-13. Lakers without AD, Anthony Davis, who is 2 weeks away from getting getting reevaluated to return. But in my opinion, I think Lakers should wait till he's well rested and then give him another week. Back to the game. The King, the GOAT, LeBron James. He didn't have his best game, but he did, fill the stat sheet somewhat. 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 10 assists. But Indiana, they had this game won. They had it in the bag until not LeBron. Oh, no, not LeBron, but Kyle Kuzma. 15 points in the fourth quarter, 24 points in total. Sabonis was a monster. 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. One of the best big man passers and rebounders in the game. And he's the most underrated, the most underrated all-star in this league besides Nikola Vucevic. Neither guy gets enough credit for what they do. They don't get props, the well-deserved props enough. And another person, Malcolm Brogdon, he came to play, 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, and he was 4 for 7 from 3. But he had 5 turnovers, and as close as this game was, those turnovers, they was costly. They cost him the game. And, Lakers win. But another thing I didn't notice was the Lakers, they're number 2 in their Pacific standings. They're behind the Suns. But Lakers win 105-100. And they put on a onslaught. They put on an offensive blitzkrieg in the fourth quarter. They had 34 points. Half of it was because of Kyle Kuzma. And you're not going to get it from Kyle Kuzma every night. Let's be honest. He's inconsistent. AD wasn't out, so it's just more shots from Kyle Kuzma. But Lakers still going strong with AD still recovering. And that will conclude all 7 games. I really want to thank you guys. My subscribers is getting up a little bit. I got 15. If you're new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. If you've been a long-time subscriber, thank you again for sticking through. The channel is growing slowly, but it is growing. That's better than nothing. If you watch, I see I have a couple of more views than I have more views than subscribers, and that's okay. But write in the comments what you think about the videos, what I need to do better. All criticism, all comments, will be. I would definitely read them. Obviously, I want to know what I can do better for you guys. Hopefully, I can become bigger with my content. It's hard. I do work a regular job, like I always say, but I just love NBA basketball. I love talking about it, so it's just something that's an outlet for me. If I can get more subs, that'll be amazing. But if not, then hey, I will keep giving out content to my 15 subscribers because you guys subscribe to the channel. You make it grow even just a little bit. You guys make it grow. This is Courtside with Jerome, and I will try to push out another video tomorrow. And you guys will have a blessed night. Peace.